but I can't, I just thought I'd want to bring up this concept. Because I've been thinking about it a lot lately. But like, so addiction is tied to memories, you know what I mean? Or poor behavior is tied to memories. Like, what I've been thinking, like, it's like me, you know, not this last Wednesday, but the Wednesday before, I went and had ate McDonald's. You know, I had my kids, got McDonald's, you know, binged in McDonald's, went and got a Red Box. It was a Wednesday night. I had a pretty good time. You know, like, it was fun. I remember thinking, this is a good time to have a little Mickey D's, you know, drinking this big pop, you know, got a Red Box, had watched a good film, had a good experience, right? So the next Wednesday rolls around, and I've been working hard to get back on track with my nutrition. It's been down, you know. And I've been doing pretty good. Well, the next Wednesday rolls around, and so what did I thought about my last Wednesday? What a good experience it was. I ate the Mickey D's. I mean, I wanted to paint the same exact picture. You know what I'm talking about? So I started thinking, and I had the itch for McDonald's. This is a different perspective, but it's the same thing with pills or whatever. So instead of doing the McDonald's, I thought, all right, I need to eat out. And so I did sushi instead, you know, and replaced it with that. I've never done sushi before, but I created that memory with the sushi. It was a better alternative. Where I'm going with this, it's the same thing with like my addiction with narcotics or Percocets. If I get into a habit of doing Percocets on the weekend, on a Sunday, and then I work hard all week and get away from them, but then that next Sunday I think, it was nice and relaxing with the family. You know what I'm saying? That it's all tied to the memory. So if you partied the last Friday, Saturday night, like, it's going to be tough that next Friday, Saturday night, because you're going to be thinking, I did this last Friday, Saturday night. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So what do you think? So the memory of taking ourselves out of reality on the weekend or whenever is what keeps us into taking ourselves out of reality. So it's the same thing with fruit. The memory of eating poorly on Wednesday and Saturday night is what keeps us into eating poorly. That memory is linked to it, so we think about it. Bub kind of touched on it last night with the nutrition. So how do we create new healthy memories that will outshine our poor memories? How do we change paths? And that's what this is all about, right? Like switching paths, creating these new memories, you know, so we can be better, and so we can have healthy addictions. I mean, I've said this before. You can get addicted to the healthy. If I go 6 days with my nutrition, like, I get addicted to eating healthy. And then you can convince me to drink a pop. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing with all of this, right? So if you go 4 days in the gym experience, like Chad this week, it's going to be easier to go 4 days next week. If you get in the habit of coming 3 days a week, your memory's going to tell you, well, shit, I've only been coming 3 days a week. You know? Like, you got to be coming, you know, it's that memory of that good behavior that'll keep wanting you to do better behavior. You know what I'm saying? And this is hard. You know, we must be seekers of unique experiences by finding ways to allow our physical selves to feed our spiritual selves. What do you think that means? Read it again if you don't. We must be seekers of unique experiences by finding ways to allow our physical selves to feed our spiritual selves. What do you think? I mean, you understand what? You want me to read it again?
No, I understand it, but
to feed our spiritual selves, right? So I mean, what am I always promoting? Like
reading.
What am I always promoting through like these unique experiences?
The remote experience.
So like
gratitude.
Exactly. So like Sunday, I did a sick ass one. I parked behind that Washington Heights Christian church. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Right before you're getting ready to go down the Dugway, and there's that
Chevron across the street from Chevron.
Yeah, across the street from Chevron. I parked back there, and then I found a trail that jogged me down, and it cut along the mountain. It was kind of a weird trail back behind there, you know what I'm saying? Kind of hugging, lower you in it.
Mm-hmm.
But it brought me out right onto the highway, that highway that, you know, what is that, 89? Well, no, just on that steep going down right before you go over the underpass.
Yeah.
So I basically ran into the road again. And so I ran along the road, and then I made my way down that side, and anyway, had to cut through a few backyards, and ended up in Lower Uinta, jogged all the way down, listening to, I heard the Dances with Wolves. I've been into that lately. But I heard that soundtrack, you know, I've been hearing that with my kids and watching it with them, and it's given me, gotten me kind of high. I've been thinking it may give me good thinking, you know, so I bought the soundtrack. So I had the Dances with Wolves soundtrack going while I'm jogging, making my way through Lower Uinta. Sunday, it was a magical Sunday. And I mean, I was at points during it, I was almost crying. You know what I mean? Of gratitude and just feeling that high and enjoying the, you know, running, walking, and then eventually I made my way back up, you know. And I mean, the point of the story is now I got that memory to lean on every Sunday, as opposed to thinking about Percocets at my parents' for dinner.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I get to think about, well, I'm going to go do this before go have this sick-ass experience for a couple hours, work on myself, and I just want you guys to experience that. You know what I mean? This gym experience is great. It's easy. But, you know, I want you to learn how to get into music a little bit while taking yourself out into these remote experiences. You know, earlier in the week I posted, so before that experience, I did that gym experience. I don't know if you guys saw it on the blog. But my workout was 2 minutes of Olympic work, clean and snatch, right? Slowed, and then I went and set a chair out, and then I did 2 minutes of reading and writing. Just reading, sat there. And studied intensely, and I went back 2 minutes working on my Olympic, back and forth. You know, I worked, and that was sick, and it's created, and then it led me to that. And so what did I do? You know, I have this unique, you know, this exercise where I'm kind of working on my athleticism to working on my mind through the reading and the studying, you know what I mean? And people might think that shit is weird, but I don't think it's weird. You know, not for us. You know, I mean, that's what's different about this program is that I'm trying to tie it in with the spiritual. So when you guys hear me talk about the spiritual, what do you think that means in here? What's the spiritual component of this program?
Higher power.
No.
Your inner self.
I never talk about higher.
Your inner.
Who you are.
Well-being.
Yeah, you're reading. Readings are. I wrote this down. So, prayer, meditative thought would be spiritual work in here. Reading, writing, studying, pondering, searching, meditation, patience, endurance, humble, meek, slow, quiet, remote experience, weekend experience, gratitude, family, faith, hope, charity, peace, love, happiness, comfort, confidence, children, diligence, track experience, service, integrity. That's the spiritual. I'm not talking about, you know, I haven't gone anywhere with the higher power. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I like that concept, but I haven't been talking about that lately. I think that's, when I say the spiritual, you can work on the spiritual through these experiences. You know what I mean? And that's the spiritual component of this program. And I've been doing on the blog, even, you know, before, a little warm-up. You're warming up to get prepared for the gym experience. Maybe you go for a little jog, some double unders, and start working on that gratitude, working on that practice focus. You know, get kind of reverent in your mind. You know what I'm saying? And kind of carry that with you throughout the workout, and then the cool down, and kind of do the same thing. It's just, you know, I think it's just what you choose to think about. You know, work on choosing to think about things. And if you're struggling with something, use prayer. That prayer in your head. God, you know, I had the itch today. You know, please God help me. You know, talk to Him. You know, or talk in your head. And I'm just telling you, if you can learn to use that in harmony with exercise, exercise creates the perfect platform to work on that spiritual component. And I mean, do you guys like that for the spiritual? I mean, I'm not throwing at you guys, I'm not throwing religion, I'm not throwing anything like that. I'm just saying this is the spiritual, the stuff I read. You know? And then, you know, then going So going on all the studying, gratitude, reading, meditation, prayer, and then the bottom part right there, acting on what we have learned. So what you learn from these experiences, what you learn from the gym, what you learn here, what you learn from going and listening to dances with wolves, or whatever kind of thing you're doing, like you got to act on the way that you felt and what you learned from yourself or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like none of this shit makes sense to even talk about or come in here and do. You know, it's the same thing with nutrition. If you're not going to eventually act, I mean, we gotta be doers. You know, not just sitters and talkers and come here and let me work out. I mean, the work. You got to be doers when we're not around or Bub's not around or no. You know, this is a lifestyle, man. I'm trying to get you guys to live a lifestyle that is badass. So you stand out. You know. So, those memories, think about that and look to recognize it throughout the week, you know, like, it's just like for me, I like to pray at night before I go to bed. Last week, one night, dude, I got lazy and decided I was laying in bed and I forgot and I just didn't do it. Dude, it was harder for me that week to keep doing prayer because of the memory of the night before of me having a case of the hell with it's, you know? You know what I mean? And because of that, you know, and so you got to recognize if you're not moving forward, you're getting pulled back. If you're staying the same, you're getting pulled back. And you got to keep that in mind because, dude, it's easy to get complacent and just and get right back into your poor thing. I've seen it, dude, these past years working with people, and I've seen people get lazy. And in life, we can't be lazy. So, and not the way of life that I'm promoting to live, though. You know. So, nice fellas. Appreciate you guys. Have a good weekend.